Hello, welcome back to episode 14. Hopefully, I got it right this time. This is the Exvangelical Bible Study. I am Sara from Leaving Faith, and this is my co host, Justin from Deconstruction Zone.
Well, I'm glad to be on a screen with you again, Sarah, and I'm excited to get into more of the Genesis narrative with Jacob to see if there's any more excitement happening with the baby feuds and the name changings.
I hope we get to Joseph today. Like, I am pumped to get to Joseph. So, to anyone listening, if it seems like I'm rushing a little bit, it's because I want to talk about Joseph and I'm excited.
There's a lot there.
So much. Oh my God. Okay, so we had stopped at chapter 35.
Hmm.
Um, oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So the Jacob's sons had acted like jerks, and we finished that. And so now God tells Jacob to move to Bethel, which is in Canaan. Is
It
that
it is, yeah. In fact, it's one of the primary centers of worship in northern Israel,
okay?
which will later
Okay.
become the ire of the Judahites. But I mean, I would tell him to move too if I was God after he just destroyed all of the town of Shechem.
Oh man. Okay, so Jacob tells everyone in his household, destroy your idols, wash yourselves, and put on clean clothing. I already have a question. What?
Yeah,
Right, so I mean, you would be under the impression that this entire household is just worshiping this one God. And if they did otherwise, that one God would be very upset about it. But
indeed.
this he seems to tolerate this for a while. Like, what is happening?
It's a crazy thing to think about, but I mean, it's 100% true. But remember when they left Laban, they did take the
Mm-hmm.
household idols. Rachel did.
Yeah, and they just kind of brushed over it. Like, it was cool.
It's not
I mean,
entirely
I
clear if Jacob had any or if it was just Laban's daughters.
yeah. I mean, it gives more support to this idea where in the 10 commandments, he's like, don't have any other gods before me, acknowledging like, hey, there's actually lots of gods. I just care that you think I'm the best one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, it's really interesting. The monotheism that we think of, like the Abrahamic religion, is classically credited with being like monotheistic, the first, but they're really not. Like, if you just read the Hebrew Bible, there's other gods all over the place, and we'll see even more of
Hmm.
that in Exodus, specifically chapter 12. The idea that Yahweh understood himself to be the only God, I don't see in the text.
Mm, yeah, that's a good way to put that. Okay, so Jacob tells everyone to get it together. We're going to build an altar to God. Then they gave Jacob all their idols and their earrings and buried them beneath a tree. Why their earrings?
This is actually really good. Okay, so
You knew I was going to ask that.
there's a lot happening here. So we find this really interesting imagery, and we'll see it again later. One of the patriarch's wives gets buried next to a tree as well. So trees are really interesting because they're kind of like associated with sometimes with like the, I don't know, you might call it the demons is what a Christian would call it, but it's more or less
Oh,
just like spirits. And so
okay.
there's this imagery in the Bible that gets repeated over and over again about like there are spiritual phenomenon that happen around trees. And like you'll find prophets appearing at trees. You'll find like even when God appears to Abraham in Genesis 18, what does he do? He appears under the tree. There's this idea that the tree has some sort of connection to the divine world. So that's why it says later on in the Old Testament that they offer incense under the trees. So there's certainly a connection between trees and like divinities. So
Mm-hmm.
the way that this narrative I think is supposed to function here is they're putting their cultic objects where they belong. So the earrings were quite often a symbol of your idol worship. Like your a lot of times your earrings, your necklaces, your even sometimes your signet ring would have decorations on them that are symbolic of whatever god that they worshipped. Typically,
Okay.
obviously, a pagan god. So they took the foreign gods, the teraphim, and they took their earrings and they placed it where it appropriately belongs, where Yahweh technically isn't. Where like you could have thrown it into a river and had the same effect because all the rivers
Mm.
were inhabited by various spirits and gods, right? So there's this idea of like sending it back to where it belongs, and we find the same thing in Leviticus 16. Remember the scapegoat ritual. One of the goats is chosen to have all the sins of Israel cast upon it, and then it's sent out into the desert. Well, that's where the home of unclean spirits are. They roam in the desert. So if you read the ancient Near Eastern literature, it says that they're roaming the wilderness, waiting for a passerby to come within them, so that they can manifest or attack them. And so there's this interesting idea in the Bible where if you have cultic objects, like you could just destroy them by fire, or you could appropriately dispose of them by giving them back to the spirit that is not Yahweh. And that's, I think, the best way to read this passage.
It's interesting what another example of the ways that Christianity is actually mirrored in things like Wicca, because or just the practice of witchcraft. I know Wicca's a religion and witchcraft is not a religion, but I
Yeah, it's
know
hard
is
to keep track.
yeah, but part of that like is that trees have spirits and that rivers have spirits. And if you need something, if you need to communicate, like you tell the trees. And if you need someone to take revenge for you, you tell the river and the river spirit takes it. And so, yeah, that's actually like, I think that's relatively common
Oh
amongst
yeah.
lots of different practices.
Sacred trees in the ancient Near East were not uncommon at all. I think, unfortunately, the Christian movement lost sight of that artifact from history, but it's pretty
Mm.
much it's there in the Old Testament if you're paying attention.
I like that. I like trees.
There's Wicca now.
Yep. I want to hang out with the trees. Oh,
Uh,
okay. So they did that. When they set out again, terror from God came over all the people and no one attacked them. That means so terror is put on the people that Jacob was worried were going to attack him, but they were too afraid to attack him. Is that what that's saying?
so the way I'm reading the passage is that whatever happened in Shechem, word got around, and most likely God assisted it in getting around so that all the townsfolk would be afraid of Jacob and his family and to not attack them
Hmm.
as he journeys through the land.
That makes
That
sense.
seems to be what's happened here. Um, because, like, I don't know, it seems like Yahweh had to intervene at some point because if the people heard about what happened at Shechem, some of them might have been afraid, but certainly some of them might have wanted revenge.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like God's giving them protection for like the shitty thing they did to the Shechemites,
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what that sounds
right?
like.
Isn't that what's happening?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so frequently God is cool with what these patriarchs do, good or bad.
Yeah,
Not always, but frequently.
it's like your special chosen people can make horrible mistakes, and that's okay. But if other people do it, well, they're wicked. We then don't get allowances.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So then they make it to Canaan slash Bethel, and God appears to him. And then Rebecca's nurse dies, and here she's buried beneath an oak tree.
Hmm.
And when God appears to him after he arrives in Bethel, God blesses him and surprisingly says, "Your name is no longer Jacob. You will now be called Israel." Even though that happened 2 chapters ago and his name should have already been
Yeah.
Israel, here we are again.
Was God under the impression that Jacob just forgot when he wrestled all night with an angel and nearly defeated him without the power of magic?
Yeah, there's no way any dude is going to forget that event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine meeting a dude who had wrestled with God? The chance of that dude not telling you that story is zero.
Yep. Now, what makes a lot of sense is if these were two separate narratives about how Israel got the name Israel, and rather than getting rid of one and keeping another, they literally kept both of them, not realizing that they were creating a doublet when they were creating the book of Genesis. Otherwise, none of these doublets make any sense if you think that this is a composition that a guy named Moses just sat down and wrote. That's preposterous.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was on that burning bush when he wrote it. Otherwise, it looks like a composite piece of literature.
Perhaps.
And you'll notice in this section, have you seen the name Yahweh?
No.
No, it just says God over and over again. It says Elohim. This is from the Elohist text, which would be
Right.
concerned with stuff happening in the north, like what happened with the altar at Bethel and Jacob's journey through the land of the north.
Oh.
Jacob was supremely important to the northern tribes of Israel, more so than the southern tribes like Benjamin and Judah. So this is a narrative that obviously is probably an older version that came from the northern tribes, and they got integrated into the Yahwist literature.
Does it say Yahweh the first time?
I'm sure they've added the name Yahweh in here somewhere. If you do a count, though, it's almost always God. Verse 1 says, God said to Jacob. And then verse 3,
Yeah.
God who answers. Verse
Yeah,
5,
mine all
terror
says
fell from
God.
God. Yeah, they should all
Okay.
say God rather than Lord. And that's usually a good indicator that what you're reading is coming from the Elohist source and not from the Judean Yahwist source. Because otherwise there's no reason for a guy named Moses, if Moses wrote all this, to sit down and then randomly in one chapter say Elohim all these times, and then in another chapter say Yahweh all these times. Like, what's going on here?
Right. I mean, the reason I was asking is I was wondering if it in chapter 32 when he gets named the first time, if that was going to say Yahweh, if this one says Elohim, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, you know what, we could check real
Well,
quick. In 32 it
I do
says
see I
mhm,
see one God and I see one Lord. So maybe
mhm.
it's a little of both.
It certainly could be both. What we do find is, and this one looks like it's from the Elohist as well. What we do find is that there's a couple like classically Elohist passages that get the word Lord added on, where you'll find Lord God
Oh, okay.
rather than God or Lord, and a lot of textual critics would suggest that this is a later revision of an Elohist text. Or of a Elohist text.
Okay. So he names him Israel again. He gives the same promise that he's given again and again and again. Um, and Jacob sets up a pillar, and then they leave Bethel, even though I thought that's where he was supposed to stay. And they travel on towards Ephrath, which is, I guess, Bethlehem. And
Basically,
now Rachel's pregnant again. Did she already had? She already had Joseph and Benjamin, right? Or
well,
no? Is that now?
Benjamin's the last, and he's being had right now during the
Oh,
travel.
okay. This is Benjamin. It was a very hard delivery. The midwife finally exclaimed, "Don't be afraid, you have another son." And then she dies.
Poor Rachel.
Right? Like, I cannot imagine the terror that women would feel having to give birth.
Hmm.
Like, it is when you are in that much pain, it is such an inescapable feeling of like, there's nothing I can do to get out of this pain. But we now have epidurals and we can wheel you into surgery if things go badly. But like, you would just, I mean, not only could she probably not have a lot to manage the pain, but, she'd be, things are tearing and she could be hemorrhaging and, oh, just so many things that go wrong with childbirth that are so scary and so painful and so long. I mean, this is such a. I have to do. I'm sorry for a little soapbox,
Mhm.
but like the the idea that this is a patriarchal structure and you're giving these men all this honor and
Mhm.
glory for being strong and brave, and like, look at what the fuck these women have to do.
Yeah, it's fucking
Like,
crazy.
right? I mean, and the man who impregnated her doesn't have to, he's not part of it. He's not going to see
Mm-mm.
her through it. He's
Nope.
not going to suffer with her. He just wants her to go off and do it.
Mhm.
And she may die, she may not, whatever.
Mhm.
And oh, yeah. Um, okay, rant over.
It's a little wild too because like according to the narrative, all this is happening because Eve ate the fruit. So God picked like the most horrific way of suffering and placed it on all women because Eve ate her fruit. What a
Hmm.
wild thing to believe in.
And by the way, if Adam's thing was that he had to work, let's look at a time in history in which women were not working.
Mm-hmm.
It does not exist. Throughout history, women have worked.
Yeah.
So we got hit twice.
Mm-hmm. But that's what you get for eating the fruit first. That's what Paul said. The woman was deceived first, and
Ugh,
in
God damn
Timothy
it.
should have been second in line.
Ridiculous.
The other doublet in this passage is that did you catch the name of the town was named changed from Luz to Bethel?
Yes.
That happened the first time he went there as well. He changed the name of the city from Luz to Bethel.
Oh, it just says now called Bethel, but I wasn't sure if now meant in that moment in the text or now as like we are reading this thousands of years later now, like that the timing of the now was confusing to me.
Mine says Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, and the people who are with him. Actually, that's a fair point. He didn't. It doesn't explicitly say that he renamed it Bethel this time. That might not be a true doublet. That's a good catch. You're sharp.
Okay. So Rachel dies,
Right.
which I'm mad about. And they keep going, and Reuben sleeps with Bilhah, his father's concubine,
Mm-hmm.
for fun, I guess. And this passage says, and someone told Jacob about it. And that's it. That's it.
I wonder who. I wonder who told him.
Like, what is the point of verse 22? Like, what is
Well,
happening?
it comes up later.
Okay.
I think it's an explanation for why Reuben does not get a blessing of a particular type when Jacob blesses
Oh,
his children on his deathbed.
okay.
This seems to be the reason for Reuben's state of affairs. So whenever this was written, I assume Reuben wasn't in high favor among the tribes, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
explanation for why. Well, because they were destined to not be favored because look what this guy Reuben did to his father's concubine, Bilhah.
Okay.
But most likely, and hmm, I could be wrong, but a lot of times when this kind of thing happened, it would be kind of a like an fu to the father, like I'm in charge now. I slept with your wife
Oh,
type of
okay.
situation. Like I think that's how we make sense of the Noah story, and we see it happening with Absalom over his father's David as well in 2 Samuel 12 through 16.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly why he slept with Bilhah. It could be a power move. It could just be that Bilhah was a hottie toddy, and Reuben's like, I can't help myself. I gotta do it.
Uh-huh.
She ain't my mom.
She is some of his brother's mom,
I
but
know.
tomato, tomato, it's fine.
What if he was just that immature that he just wanted to go around to his brother and say, I slept with your mom?
Oh my God.
I don't know if people were that mature back then.
Well, he would get all the your mom jokes. I mean,
100% of them. Oh no.
okay. So now we have the names of the 12 sons of Jacob. And he comes home to his father. Isaac lives 180 years and he dies.
Hmm.
End of chapter.
Which is
Okay.
crazy.
180? It's totally normal. What are you talking about?
Well, the thing is, way back before he ran away, Jacob was already probably about 70 at that time period when he ran away. His father was already on his deathbed, remember? He was so old like he couldn't even see anymore. That's how he got tricked out of the
And
blessing.
this is like 25 years later.
Hmm.
Huh.
So Isaac um, Isaac was on his deathbed for 25 years or so. Like, did he make a recovery for a time period? Like, what happened? Like, we thought he was
This
done.
poor man.
He's just withering away in bed for like 20 plus years.
He's like, God, I'm ready.
Take
Take me.
This is horrible. I already gave the blessing away. I can't even see anymore.
Oh my God. Poor guy.
uh, yeah.
Okay. Confession time. I just skimmed chapter 36. It's a list of genealogy, and that is the whole chapter.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I was not interested.
There is some stuff in here. Like, if you're a real Bible nerd, there's some fun stuff in here you can do with the genealogy. I think it would bore most people to tears. But basically, this list of genealogies serves as like a jumping off point for these, we'll call them smaller lineages that we'll find throughout the Hebrew Bible. These are
Okay.
actual like people groups that show up later.
Okay.
Not all of them, but quite a few of them show up later. So, I mean, while documenting your ancestry was important, there's always some sort of editorial work that comes later where people are like redacting and editing people within the lineage. Like, we don't want that guy in here anymore. Get him out of here. I see a little bit of that happening. But other than that, no, these are just like establishing people groups. Although I would point out when it lists the sons of Esau's wife, or Esau's wife, Basemath, we've learned about 3 of Esau's wives again in this chapter, and they have different families than when they show up
Hmm.
earlier. But I think we talked about that prior. I don't think we need to cover that
Yeah.
again. But yeah, it's just interesting they repeat the same blunder twice.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know if we need to go over the lineage. I don't think that would be exciting for most
Cool.
people.
Oh, good, because I
There's
don't want to.
there's only one thing I would point out. If anyone's ever interested in Mosaic authorship, this is one verse that demonstrates Moses couldn't have done it. It says, "These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king had reigned over the Israelites." Well, Moses would not know at all that a king had ever been over the Israelites. He was 400 years before that ever happened. So there's no reason why he would have
Hmm.
ever wrote this sentence. It's just ridiculous.
Well, doesn't I mean, isn't the argument also that he can't record his own death?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Cool.
God told him to write it down that way. God told him to write it in third person and narrate his own death prior to his death.
Oh my God.
Imagine
Sure.
it. if that was the truth, if God narrated Moses' death to him, and then as it was happening, Joshua like said the wrong word. Is no, Joshua, I already wrote it down. You have to say this. Go back and do it again.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't know the day that I'm going to die. I would not like that
That'd be
information.
terrible.
Right? No, thank you.
Not interested.
Okay, we made it to Joseph. So reading this chapter, like I have been flooded with childhood memories. Like, oh my gosh. Like I remember this so much. And this is good literature in that it is interesting and a hell of a story. And no wonder there's a musical and there are movies. And I get it because it is like I finally am like, oh yes, okay, I'm sat. I'm ready. Like now we've got some good narrative happening.
I mean, it is good. It's a good story.
It is a
There's
good story.
intrigue, subterfuge, sibling rivalry. It's got a lot of good stuff.
It does, for sure. So, this is the history of Jacob's family, is what mine says. When Joseph was 17 years old, he often tended his father's flocks. And then the end of verse 2 says, but Joseph reported to his father some of the bad things his brothers were doing. So does that just mean like he's talking shit about his brothers
He's a
in general?
tattletale. Which is wild for 17. Like 17 back then would be
Yeah.
like what, 22 or 23 today? What kind of a young man would do that to his brothers? That's crazy.
Yeah, I would think you would have more allegiance to your brothers than to your father.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, then again, maybe he gets rewarded for it.
Well, clearly, as we're about to
Mhm.
see
Mhm.
in verse 3. Um, and so he loves Joseph more than any of his other kids, which, is the pinnacle of good parenthood. And he makes him this beautiful robe. And so not only is he showing favoritism to one of his children in his actions, but he's literally like putting a red flag on him.
Telling the
Like
world.
blinking lights. This is my
Yeah.
favorite son. Yes. I mean, I guess that happened to Jacob, though. I mean, if you look at like his upbringing, favoritism was the norm. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. It seems to run in the family, this whole playing favorites thing.
yeah. So, Joseph, if he has any sense at all, knows that his brothers don't like him.
Sure, he's
Um,
got to.
he's got to. Like they are mean to him all the time. And Joseph, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, goes up to his brothers and says, I had a dream that everyone was around me and worshiping me. Isn't that amazing?
He's not smart. Joseph is not a bright
No.
individual. Like, bro, you're 17. You're not supposed to tell your brothers that they're going to worship you.
No, my God. Have you ever met any other man ever? Like, don't do
It'd be
that.
is so bad. It's, like, I can't even imagine if I did that to my siblings.
Right? Yeah, and like forget about this being brothers. Any siblings.
Hmm.
My sisters would be like, okay, get out of here with that. Like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna go over well. And then they obviously get mad at him. And then in verse 9, he does it again. And the note I wrote in
He
my
never
Bible here,
learns.
I just wrote, bro.
Jacob.
Like, this
Uh,
went terribly the first time you did it. Why would you do it again? Like,
right.
this, you're an idiot.
I mean, they didn't harm him the first time. Maybe
No, but
Joseph
they
is that
were
dumb.
like, it says they taunted him. I mean, he is getting some direct feedback that this is not going poorly.
He is certainly getting feedback. But like, I mean, perhaps maybe he feels so powerful because he knows he's his dad's favorite that he thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah. That's true. It could
Mhm.
just be arrogance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's
He's not
fair.
likable at this point.
No, and it's interesting, like the way that I learned this story as a kid, right? Because when you're telling this story to kids, Joseph is the hero of the story, and so he has to be the good guy, right? And so,
Right.
like, I learned it like God gave him this dream, and it was a prophecy, and he was obligated to tell people about this prophecy that he had received, and his mean brothers were mean to him about it. But he was just telling the truth.
That's
Like,
wild.
no, he was being a dick.
Yeah. That wasn't my reading of it when I was a kid. When I was in Catholic school, we read it straight, and we were like, "Yeah, that was a dumb move." The Catholics can do that. They're not married to biblical interpretation all that much. They've got the
Yeah.
magisterium and the Pope, and so they can read the Bible and be like, "Yeah, that dude was a blockhead."
Oh, I love that word. Okay,
Fun fact:
so
there are um, we'll call them artifacts from the ancient Near East, showing that people like Canaanites, the people who lived in the Levant, actually did wear multicolored coats. Isn't that interesting?
oh, that is cool.
So it seems like this might have been some sort of a cultural thing that people did.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, his dad. Oh, he tells his dad.
smart,
Never
smart.
mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like what? What? Sure. And his dad's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, put a lid on it, son." Um, yeah. But his father kept the matter in mind. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
his dad is like, well, my son is the best one. I love him the most. Maybe he will. Maybe he's going to
Mm-hmm.
be the next ruler of us all, I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, maybe God chose him. Who knows? He was the
Yeah,
best of the
I'm
bunch.
God does that.
God. If God does anything, he picks favorites,
Yeah, he does.
and they're not good picks usually.
I know, right?
In
Ugh.
order for this to make sense, for God not to come off looking like he's unintelligent, you have to assume that everybody else was just it. They're just all idiots. Like they're just
Mhm.
the lowest level of human being. But I can't believe that.
I mean, it certainly goes with the evangelical narrative that like we're all pieces of shit.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it really is. Yeah, and in order for the Jesus narrative to make sense, you have to believe that like we're all horrible individuals, and we deserve to be tortured for all of eternity. So,
Yep.
so really degrading religion is.
Yeah, it is degrading. Um okay, Joseph's brothers go to pasture their father's flocks in Shechem, and then Jacob sends Joseph out to them. Two questions. How far away is Shechem and what's happening here? Like what do you mean sends him out to them? What is he doing?
Shechem at this point is kind of a neighboring city, and he probably just sent him out to go keep an eye on him. But
Oh, like he has to spy on his brothers?
mhm,
No wonder they're so mad.
he's the spy. He's a tattletale. But the other thing too is, what the hell are they doing in Shechem? They just destroyed the whole city.
Oh, well, it's fine. The people just sprouted up
They
out of the ground. They're back now. We're
respawn.
good. It's
We're
fine.
good to go.
Respawn.
Because like theoretically, remember they kidnapped all the women and children that were left in Shechem and took them with them.
Yep. Yep. They sure did. No one is in that city.
May- Maybe
But
that's
they
why
just
they
need
went
their
back.
flocks, right? Like they
Yeah.
just want the grass. They don't need anything to be in there. They're
True. Actually, that makes it the perfect place. The grass is overgrown. They murdered the entire city. No one's been pasturing their flocks there.
Yep. So, good job, boys.
You did well. Uh,
Okay, so he's going to look for them. He gets to Shechem. They're not there. He asks a random guy, "Have you seen my brothers?" And he says, "Yeah, but they went to Dothan." So he goes somewhere else. Is this far or like
No,
20
it's
minutes down the road?
not terribly far. You'd be able to get there within a day.
Okay.
Well, I guess it depends on the flock. You know, sometimes the flock doesn't travel all that fast.
Mm. Okay. So now his brothers see him coming and they're like, here comes the tattletale.
Uh
We're
huh.
done with you. Let's
Yeah.
kill him. I do remember, like, as a kid hearing this story, thinking this was a severe overreaction.
It
Like,
seemed to touch.
right? Like, I get you don't like him, and you probably have good reason not to like him. He sounds like a dick, but, like, you're gonna kill him? I
I
mean,
know.
okay. All
Like I think
right.
about the times my siblings made me mad as a youngster, but I was never like, well, I guess we have to murder you now. Like it just never.
Right?
And the other siblings, if they heard you say that, be like, what are you insane? You can't just kill your brother. You're like it's crazy that the siblings together here are like, yeah, let's just kill him. Like,
That's a good idea.
what are you
Yeah.
insane? But then again, they did murder all the Shechemites just like 2 chapters ago. So like I don't know, they seem pretty bloodthirsty.
Yeah, maybe death is just not a big deal.
I mean, everyone dies. I guess you'll go to Sheol.
Yeah. Okay. So they say, "Here comes that dreamer," they exclaimed. Let's kill him and throw him in a pit. Okay, also, has anyone seen 30 Rock? Have you seen 30 Rock?
Not all of them.
Okay, well, if you're vaguely familiar, Andy lives in a pit and he has a song about living in a pit.
Oh,
So,
I better check out the song.
Justin.
Sorry, my pop culture depth is like a teaspoon deep.
Mm-hmm. All right. But Reuben is like, maybe we should save Joseph. Although Reuben was the one we were mad at for something,
Well, he just
right?
slept with his father's concubine when so the guy who's like, I'm gonna go boink my dad's concubine now is the voice of reason all of a sudden.
Right. That was it. Yep. Okay. Why should we shed his blood? Let's just throw him alive into this pit, and that way he'll die without her having to touch him. Okay. Now, I mean, granted, in the next verse, it explains that he means to rescue him, but like his brothers
Mm-hmm.
are like, great, cool, what a good plan. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're too cowardly to do it ourselves, but we're gonna let him slowly die of dehydration.
Yeah, we didn't kill him. He died on his own. I don't know how he got down there.
How are we supposed to know he needed water to live? That's not our problem. Bring your own water, man.
Which, to be fair, so like when it says pit, I'm always curious, like what type of a pit we're talking about. Are we talking about like perhaps like an old well that's no longer
I
being
think that's what
used?
it is.
I seem to
Because
remember that being the case.
in
They put him
verse
into a well, right?
24, it says this pit was normally used to store water, but it was empty at the time.
Yeah. So you would think somebody would come to it eventually. Like if they put you in there, right, and you were there for a couple days, like you wouldn't necessarily starve. Eventually, someone would hear you crying and get you out, right?
I mean, if it's an abandoned well, maybe not, but yeah, it would have to be you'd have to be really far from any other anything for someone to not hear you.
Yeah. Hmm. Makes you kind of curious. Anyways, maybe it was out in like a remote area where people wouldn't normally be.
Yeah, that's probably the only explanation for that. Okay, so they take his robe and push him in the pit. God, it's so cinematic. Like the symbolism of taking the robe and having his favor on you and throwing him into a pit. It's beautiful cinema.
I'm thinking like this is Sparta kick right into the well, or you know what I mean?
Totally. Totally. I sure do.
What do you think they said to
Okay.
him as they were doing it?
Um, Probably something lame. Like these boys seem lame. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they would say something like, "Yeah, suck it, brother. Who's the favorite now?"
Yeah, I doubt they have any good comebacks.
Right? Yeah, no, I think they're lame. I think it would
Yeah,
be a bad line.
I think they're pretty lame.
Um, so wait, let me get my bearings here. So people are caravanning by.
Hmm.
They see some traders and they're going to Egypt. And then Judah is like, should we really kill him? The way it says in my Bible is that would give us a guilty conscience. Let's sell him instead. Wait, I'm sorry. Killing him would give you a guilty conscience, but selling him, we're good with that. That's fine. No
Right.
guilt. What?
Well, that's the crazy thing because, like, for a lot of people in the ancient world, slavery was just kind of a fact of life. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
could be a slave or you could be free. Um, it wasn't necessarily looked at in the same way. So I'm sure for them they felt like that was a step up from killing, but like still horrible.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if they didn't think they had to feel guilty about it, why did they have to hide it from their dad? Right? Oh, because you knew
Mhm.
you did something bad. So the traders come by, they pull Joseph out of the pit and sell him for 20 pieces of silver.
So to the point, if the Midianites slash Ishmaelites, there are two different people groups that gets conflated into one here. If they
Oh,
were
yeah.
walking by the area and he was just in the pit by himself, I mean, theoretically, he could have yelled out and they might have rescued him and might not have gotten sold. If they had,
Yeah.
if the brothers had decided not to sell him, he might have been rescued.
Well, and what's his face? Reuben was going to come rescue him anyway.
That's right. Yeah. Fair point. Yeah.
Well, and it's weird because, like, suddenly Reuben has disappeared from the scene. You know, like Reuben is here saying throw him in the pit, and then, but right after,
In 29. Yeah.
they're like, let's sell him. And Reuben
Where'd he
comes
go?
back later and is surprised. But, like, weren't you there,
He
Reuben?
was
Like,
supposed to
what?
be the whole time. What happened?
Right? Yeah, he floated away.
He went to go
And
use the
then,
restroom, and before you know it, he was gone, sold.
yep. So Reuben tears his clothes in anguish and frustration. Then he went back to his brothers and lamented, "The boy is gone. What can I do now?" How about stand up for him in the first place? What do you mean, what can I do now? Go get
Mhm.
him. How long has he been gone? An hour?
Couldn't be that long. They saw the direction that the Ishmaelites went. Like, you go track him down, bro.
Right? Go grab whatever your donkey,
Mhm.
camel, or whatever. Go after him.
Yeah.
Get
He's
him
got the
back.
money. I mean, the brothers
Yeah.
all have the money, right? Just go track him down and get him.
What a goober.
There's always so many parts of the narrative where it's like these bad things happen, and there's always like, oh, this is what we have to live out now. Golly gee, we can't do anything about it. Like, what do you mean you can't do anything about it? Like,
What are you talking about?
go get him.
Yeah, he's right there.
It's just you can tell that it's manufactured stories because the plot holes are too obvious. You know.
Yeah, like, this is not how people would behave.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. Um, so instead of telling their dad that he was missing or that they had sold him, they think the right thing to do is to kill a goat and tell their dad that Joseph has died because that's what good people do.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the robe and they dip it in the goat blood and they say, "We found this in the field. It's Joseph's robe, isn't it?" You know it's Joseph's robe. Get out of here with that. Um, yeah, and their father's heartbroken. Oh my gosh, it's his robe. And he is very, very sad, as one would be.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean, even if you have 12, 13, 14 children, losing one of them's got to be horrific.
Especially your favorite. It's your favorite one.
Yeah, especially for Jacob, that favoriting
Oh my
role model of a
God.
father.
And so meanwhile, they sell Joseph to Potiphar. Oh my gosh, that name. Like, I haven't heard that name since I was a
Yeah.
kid. Like, so many. Oh my gosh, I'm like back in Sunday school. Oh man. Okay. We're at the end of this chapter. I have a lot of things to say about chapter 38. So we probably don't have time to do chapter 38. Just as a teaser for next time, chapter 38 is conveniently left out every time we tell this story to kids, right? Like, you just pretend that chapter 38 is not here. And the notes that I have in here include, oh my God, what? And women prostitute bad, man prostitute okay. So
There's some
stay
things.
tuned for our next episode, in which we will be talking about Genesis 38, which is upsetting and wild. Yes. So if you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much for listening. And Justin, thank you as always for your insight.
Well, thank you so much for having me. These read throughs are an absolute blast. And, one thing that we could add is every time we read like a new episode, I feel like the patriarchs get worse and worse and more misogynistic. Like even at the end of this chapter, we learned that Jacob has more daughters, but we only know of Dinah. The only daughter we really know about is the one that got raped.
Ugh. And we
That's how
probably
much.
only, right? And like, we only know that she got raped because of what her brothers did, because the
Yeah,
story is actually about her brothers.
yeah. This book
Ugh,
is not
that's
concerned
upsetting.
with the lives of women,
No, no, it is not.
but it will give you instructions on how to please men properly.
Look, we know how to please men. I think the directions need to go in the other way.
Yeah, don't worry, women. I think you got that unlocked. Not hard.
Okay, now that we're all blushing. On that note, good day or good night, and I will see you all soon.